Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, viewers. So, in our today's topic, we are going to enhance our previous working on the linear programming of the cakes example. The example, let me revise it. In the previous video, we got the maximization of this function. Right? For example, we have 1 and 1 here, then we have 10 pounds cake production with 4.5 with 1 cake of Black Forest and 1. But we want to see that to maximize this function, and for in a day's production, keeping in view all these constraints, right? And what would be the maximal production? So as we did it yesterday in the last presentation, we use the solver. Our objective was this, yeah, D10, and all these constraints were properly entered, yeah, 30, 40, 80, right? And these other constraints were also entered. And all we need to do is click OK. So it is going to reach to tell you that you can maximize your production by preparing 20 Black Forest cakes and 10 chocolate cake. That is going to make 150 pounds of the cake production. And all these are within the limits. And this is the maximum you can do, right? So far, so good. And this is also integrated with this. So the narration, the solution is one center conclusion, one sentence conclusion is all automatically displayed, right? Okay. Now, what if just suppose that you have got your Black Forest machine is not working, you have to disable it. Let's make it 0. What would happen, sir? So we will still have to see that if this goes 0, then let's see that what should be the maximum value to get this production, right? So we knew that it was 150, right? So while keeping in mind that we don't have the Black Forest for temporarily available, it is unavailable at the moment. So what would be the solution of this problem, and how much production is supposed to be done? So in this case, it is 60, right? Okay. So if I use a goal seek here, if I use goal seek here, right? I make, for example, 0 here, right? Right? And I use the goal seek, what if analysis, and I am going to set this thing to 150. That is our maximum target. We knew that the solver resulted it to 150. Fine. So I want this chocolate cake to be changing until it reaches 150 here. Okay. So let's click OK. So 150, to have a 150 with a 0 Black Forest, you've got to create 25 chocolate cakes. That is going to have you 150 pounds production of cakes. So you have, what have you done actually? You have disabled temporarily one set of the cakes SKU, right? Or cake, the product. Okay, if you disable it temporarily, and then you would like to know that what would be, while keeping the solver's recommendation of 150 in view, and how many chocolate cakes are supposed using the goal seek, you can arrive at. And one thing you would notice that it will remain within the limits of the constraints. It is 25, which is less than or equal to 30. It is 50, so it is exceeding it, right? It is exceeding it. So this is wrong, right? And this is not exceeding, right? So you have to come up with some solution in which the constraints have to be within the limit, right? So in that case, still so you know that goal seek does not take into the consideration of the constraints, whereas the solver, it does take into the consideration, right? So goal seek is only one cell specific. It cannot take multiple cells into consideration, right? And you have to have the changing cell in which you want the what if analysis to make changes. So that can be only one cell, not multiple cells, right? In goal seek, whereas in solver you can use multiple cells as well. right? Not only the multiple cells changing is possible, also the constraints are also taken. So this is the difference between the goal seek and the solver, that the solver takes into the consideration of the constraints, right, which you mentioned, and it brings and it keeps on trying and come up with a result which is within the boundaries of these constraints, and it is maximized. Yeah, it can be minimized as well depending upon your selection of the in the dialogue of the solver, right? And whereas the goal seek that just focuses on the objective cell. You want 150, fair enough, and you want once, and you can specify only one cell in which the changes can be made. So this is the difference between the goal seek and the solver. I hope you I have provided you the explanation, and we will further come up with the automation aspect of this in the forthcoming videos. You will see how to automate with the click of button doing the goal seek, with the click of button doing the solver, and managing the inputs and the parameter settings, etc. There are so many things you can do, and further you can combine the both solver and the goal seek together to come up with a further complex to a solution. Okay, thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. In our previous video, we explained you the linear programming example in which we illustrated the cake production and using the maximize option of the solver, right? And in which the solver was used and it came up with a 150, right? Let's run it, and so we said, and what does it solver is doing? What is the solver doing is what it is kind of taking into the consideration of the constraints which are mentioned, right, in these cells, right? And these constraints have been entered into the solver individually, one by one, right? And mentioned that this should not exceed 30, this should not exceed 40, and it should not exceed 80, right? So these are the things which can be the constraints in the production flow, or in the capacity planners might have given you these restrictions. Yeah? Because when you produce, so you have to take care of, you have to account for the capacity of your plant, you have to account for the machine hour and man hours available with you, and so many things, right? So that analysis then gives you certain constraints, and then you mention it into as a solver is a very efficient tool presented by Microsoft in Excel. So it takes into the consideration of your constraints, all these constraints, and it maximizes the usage. So let's run this, and then we will cross check it whether this maximized figure which we are receiving at the moment when we have one cake each, right? So and with this maximization function, if we have one each, then 10 pounds production is here, right? And with black forward one and chocolate one. Right. So now we are going to maximize it through, and we let's see what the solver offers us. That not means suggests us. It is an advice. It should be taken as an advice from the electronic system, which takes into consideration all these constraints, and it only makes changes in the tools. You remember there is a comma between the both cells, right? The first is the black forest. The second is for the chocolate cake, right? And then when you select this, make sure that it is syntax LP, right? And then you just click OK here, right? So it comes up with the maximized figure. It offers you this is the total cake production in pounds to be produced. If you produce in such a manner that you produce 20 cakes of black forest type and 10 cakes of chocolate type, and you will get 150 production. Okay, so this was done. Let's cross check. Let's cross check if this is right. So we use our knowledge of goal seek as well, right? So goal seek, we make first of all, let's say we don't produce anything in say 0. We make it 0, right? Okay, so and we keep this changing, right? we keep this changing, right? So we keep this changing, and our target is 150, which we got from from the solver, right? So what would happen? So just to check, can we get 150 production while stopping one variable of Black Forest and making all the chocolates, right? So what would we do? We would use the what if analysis, and we will we will go to the goal seek, and we will change this only. Okay, we will set this to 150 as it was given by our previous actual example. Now we are cross-checking it that we have made it 0 and we still want 150 production while changing only the chocolates. Okay. So in the end, we will have all the chocolates. So how many chocolates, cakes will be required in order to get a 150 value? Let's see that. Okay. So you have 50, right? 150 is there, and you have no Black Forest, and you have 25 cakes, okay, of 6 pounds each, and you will get this. But what would happen? Yeah, you see, if we see it minutely, there is a violation. Yeah? You see, the 40 was violated. The constraint which was given is violated by the goal seek, because the goal seek does not offer any constraint procedure. So you will get an incorrect result, right? So first of all, so this is right, that the solver function is correct. We bring cancel, right? We are back. We make it 1, and we get back to the original solver, right? And what else if we say, okay, don't produce chocolate and bring all the bring get all and then our target is 150, right? So we will do this. We will go to the goal seek, and we will use we will set this to the value of 150, and by changing this time the Black Forest. Okay, so it is changing. So it is saying 30, 33 Black Forest, and 0 cake, in order to get the 150 pounds of cake production. But it's still, again, you see, since you don't take into the consideration, the goal seek does not take into the consideration the constraints, so there is a violation. This figure has exceeded the stipulated condition that it should remain less than 30. This should, that's fine, this is fine, and this is fine. But here, this one has gone up, right? So now our trust on the solver has improved, and we can verify so many things in here, just to so that we are comfortable with the solver which is offering the problem and the solution that is making sense to us, and we click solve. That's right. Okay, so 150. Right? This time both cells are changed, and this thing, and it is, since it is integrated, so this formula makes sure that the correct result is in one line, right? This is right. And the next is we can one more thing we can do, that we can record it and make it on a click of button. Whatever the constraints are here, these are entered into the solver, and so you all you need to do is mention your constraints, and it will, when you go to the solver, this part, or even all these parts are populated properly. You don't have to mention everything again and again, right? So whatever is there, it will take care of your settings here in the solver, and it is make sure that it is unchecked, it is simplex LP, and it is okay, right? So this is this can be done through the through VBA. So I look forward to your watching to our next video, in which we will be using VBA to automate it, and with a click of button, so that you don't have to remember all the steps. These record will be done by the VBA code. Okay, with the click of button. Okay, thank you very much.